Yeah, whoa. Look, they can never keep me down, I'm going. And if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage, you should give me my props. You ain't got no soul, you lacking the spirit. You talk out your neck, I'ma show you I'm with it. I would really hate for you to sit and watch me win again and win again and win again. I know it's probably getting on me and win a synonym. So if I ever win again, just know I did the minimum. I didn't have to sell my soul.
Hey, you sleeping? You sleeping, bud? Yeah, you sleeping. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What about you? You sleeping? Yeah, you're sleeping. Little eyeball there? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna wake you up. Are you getting up? Open the eyes. You're gonna make me feel bad. I don't wanna. Don't go back to sleep. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. 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 When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end.
All right. I guess we're gonna be disturbing some slumbers today, dudes and dudettes. So, we got the Mexican beaded lizards, my favorite species of all time. I'm not gonna say my favorite, I have two favorites, the Gila monsters and the beaded lizards. It's what, back in the day, when I did my import-export business and my reptile breeding, my main focus was Helodermas, which is basically the family of your Gila monsters and these beaded lizards. So you have the Gila monsters, which there's technically two different kinds of. You have your reticulated and your banded. It's the same thing, it's just the pattern on the back of it. That's all the difference is. You have a banded Gila monster that's got the bands, and then the reticulated, which is the reticulated pattern, just like the reticulated python, they call it that because of the pattern. But the beaded lizards actually got their name from the way that they look. It looks like they have this studded, beaded kind of, they're osteoderms. They're scutes, just like an alligator would have, just shaped a little bit differently. So if you see the skeleton of a Gila monster or a beaded lizard, if you see the skull itself, it actually retains those little, here, I'll drag them closer so that we can see. It'll actually retain all of those little bumps on top of his head. So those aren't just scales that disappear, that go when the lizard passes. They're actually the skull structure of that lizard. So they are osteoderms, they are scutes. They work in a similar pattern to the way that we have our alligators working. And the Mexican beaded lizard got its name because it looks like a bunch of little beads all over the animal, and hence Mexican beaded lizard. So there's a couple of different subspecies. You have the exasperatum, so you have Heloderma suspectum, which is your Gila monsters. Then you have Heloderma exasperatum, which is your Mexican beaded lizard, which is also the Heridium, which is also the Alvarezi, which is also the Charles Bogarti. So those are all subspecies from the originally found Mexican beaded lizard. So this is exasperatum. These are the Rio Fuertes beaded lizard, and the reason they're called Rio Fuertes beaded lizards is because they're found, and guess what? Rio Fuertes. There's also another wide range of these guys, but that was specifically where they were first located, and that's why they called them the Rio Fuertes beaded lizards. The other ones range from all the way to northern Mexico, all the way down into Guatemala, where you find your rarest species, which is the Charles Bogardi, which there's only a couple hundred left in the wild, if that. It's extremely rare, probably one of the, actually probably the rarest lizard on this earth, if I'm correct in stating that. So extremely rare. I have never gotten the pleasure to see a Bogardi in person, but I have had the pleasure of working with all other species or subspecies of the beaded lizard and the Gila monster, and I actually had probably around 40 of these guys. So everything I'm going to tell you comes from personal experience over 7 to 10 years of working specifically with these animals and the Gila monsters. So we're gonna pay attention to the beaded lizards today because I don't have any Gila monsters here. Soon we will. And I'm gonna show you guys throughout the next couple of months. I don't think these guys will breed this year. These guys just came in. There was 42 of them. Apparently somebody got rid of a very large collection. A friend of mine got those in. He asked me to help him out. Okay, dudes, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning right now. I got up early so I can edit my stuff so I can still have time to do all the work that I need to do today. So I stepped outside to take a break because I've been editing for far longer than I want to. I'm cutting like half of this video out, dudes. And if you guys want to see it, just let me know, comment below. The part that I'm cutting out is basically like a little mini bite series. It was me explaining the bites that I've gotten from Heloderma and the worst one, but I figured I'd give you guys the short end of the stick instead of the giant long end of the broom on this one, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. The video just ran a lot longer than I thought, and I figured I'd save you guys. This is just me sitting there talking with a lizard. But if you guys do want to see that, if you want to hear about the bite story, just comment below and I'll rip another video out of it. All right, dudes, let's get back to it. Boom. This is a venomous lizard, but unlike its counterpart, the venomous snakes, damn flies. All right, so unlike the counterparts, the venomous snakes are usually gonna have, well, not usually, they always have, their venom glands are right behind the eyes on top of the head, and it looks like he's got his venom glands on top of the head too. That is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the structure of these jaws. They have extremely powerful jaws. Generally speaking, when these guys get this size, they're really relaxed animals. This guy is not necessarily super relaxed. You want to see something cool? I'm going to throw a picture up from when I first got this guy right now. Yeah, so that's what happens when you're going through 42 beaded lizards and you get a little bit complacent, you get snacked on a little bit. So fortunately enough, that was not the worst bite that I have ever had from any Heloderma. And this is the largest Heloderma that I have ever been bit by. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not a proud thing to say that you got bit by anything, especially this thing, because they're extremely slow. I mean, they strike fast, side to side, so they work much like an alligator striking side to side, but they are extremely slow, kind of very sluggish, very docile animals. So if you do get bit by one, it means you're just like me and you got a special place you know, inside where you're a little bit challenged and you get bit by everything. So, oh, big boy, easy, chill out. I'm just trying to help you out here, bud. What we're doing here today is very simple. Whoever had this collection clearly did not understand the need to trim these guys' nails. So in the wild, where these guys come from, everybody thinks it's a desert animal. It's very much not the case. The Gila monsters, those are in the southwestern part of the states. They do live in dry, arid areas. These guys in Mexico, especially all the way down to Guatemala, have more of an agricultural zoning like we do. So it's much different. The humidity needs to be a little bit higher, and these guys are terrestrial. You'll find these guys in trees all over the place, where the Gila monsters are gonna be kind of tucked up underneath. And these guys too, they'll use old abandoned dens and stuff to live in. And generally speaking, they're going to be trimming their claws as they move along. So they're going to be going against rocks, they're going to be climbing rocks, climbing trees, and all of these will be maintained in the wild. Sorry, Mama, I didn't mean to do that. But if you don't, in captivity, I mean, even the way that I set it up here, you would have to trim these claws. no matter what. And the reason I set them up like this is very simple. I have a temperature gradient in here. Basically, that means it's gradually changing from one to another. And as you notice, when we first looked, you had one sitting on the hot side, one sitting on the cold side. I would say probably 80% of their time is spent on the cold side. So I'll have 75 degrees on one side, all the way to 90 to 95 degrees on the hot side. So they have the choice of baths, but they also have the choice to go on this side. And I'm gonna try and naturally breed these guys because I'm not gonna put them through the stress. They're not acclimated enough to do what I would normally do to breed these guys, which is basically use a wine cooler. We'll get into that shit later on. But these guys here, there is a chance, I've had it happen before, especially with the beaded lizards, never with Gila monsters, but with beaded lizards, I've had it before because my house is cold. So my house will get to like 68 at night. I'll turn that light off, which I've been doing so, and I'll do that for the next couple of months, probably until about January. So we go for about 3 months. And then in January, I'll switch it to where I'll keep that light on, and then at night, I'll put a heat light with the same wattage so that constant temperature stays there. But at night, I'm dropping the temperature, so I'm lowering these guys. But I still give them the option to thermoregulate during the day, which is a big problem with a lot of people that try and breed these things because of the temperatures that you have to get them to. So you have to do that for a long period of time. And basically what that does is it allows the female's follicles to start expanding and growing. And if you actually looked at them under an ultrasound while the female's follicles are growing, you would see right over her ovary, so she would have a big old black spot, and then around that you would see these little tiny black dots. And over the period of time when you're cooling these guys down, those get bigger and bigger and bigger because she's ovulating, and that's when the male can actually fertilize the female. So the reason for cooling them down for so long and at such temperatures is because that's what they have in the wild. So we're trying to replicate what goes on in the wild. And with the beaded lizards, like I said, it's more of like an agricultural zone that we have here in Florida. So it's a little bit easier with these guys than it is the Gila monsters. Because the Gila monsters, I'm dropping to like 62 all the way down to even 55 degrees. And we're doing that over the course of about 3 months. Same with these guys, except for I'm gonna try and do it naturally in here with them together, which I would never do. Generally speaking, I'll keep them apart. When it's time to breed, I'll put them together. But I'm gonna pair these guys up as I did the very first time that I ever bred these guys. And I'm gonna leave them in here, drop that light, and then January, like I said, I'll put the night light on as well as the daylight so they have that constant temperature on that side, which may or may not work out. I'm not too upset if it doesn't end up working out. But what we're doing now is a spa day, which she's not gonna like because you see the problem. Her nails are growing literally everywhere. I know, Mama, this is gonna suck, but we gotta get it done. So I'm gonna put a little restraint on her just because I don't feel like getting bit again, but she needs the help. So you have to trim these claws. You can see they're already wrapping up, and what it does too is it kind of distorts the fingers themselves, so their bones will start to grow sideways. It'll start to deform the animal altogether. So I clipped the big boy already, and I wanted to clip this guy or this girl with you guys so you guys could see the problems when you don't maintain your animals properly. And I'm not saying that whoever had these, I don't know where they came from. There was 42 of them. They all looked phenomenal as far as overall health goes, but the nails were all for shit. So either the guy didn't want to handle them or didn't realize that you needed to trim these nails, but you absolutely 100% have to trim these nails. They're gonna cause more problems in the long run than it's even worth. So if you can't deal with it, don't get it. And generally speaking, you're gonna want some help with this, which I was supposed to have some help, but that's not gonna work. And you have to be careful because just like anything else, that nail doesn't go all the way back like ours does, where you can just trim the excess and you can see it. There's meat inside that nail, so you have to be careful as to where you trim these nails up too. Now hers are already twisting, so I want to try and get as much as I can off without, I know.
Over the floor?
Yep, we're gonna hit it all over the floor. We'll clean it up later. So the part that you have to be careful of though is you have to find out where that meat is, which is gonna be right about here. So we can trim back to there, but then you have to be careful so you don't split that meat either. Let me try and do this the stupidest way I know how.
Harley, watch out, Mama.
and hope I don't catch a bite for it. I don't know. Easy. So, if this was done on a regular basis, she would be a little bit more relaxed. She just doesn't know. It's not hurting her at all, but what it's doing, you can see those teeth in there. But it's very uncomfortable for her to be restrained, I'm sure. I doubt she's ever been restrained. And at the same time, she's hearing the clicking of these clippers. But at the end of the day, if we don't do this, she's gonna have lots of problems. So we're just gonna keep trimming back here. Yeah, see, it's easier. Mama, let me just help you out. I wish I had better clippers than regular nail clippers so we could just do this all in one shot. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to use with what we got. And we're gonna file these down too. Easy there, Mama. As soon as I can get it cut, can I have a hand? Easy there, big girl. I don't want you to bite me in the stomach. I know. See, we got a little blood on that one. So we gotta be careful how far we go back. And that's another problem too. If you let these nails go this long, like they really should be much shorter than that. I should be able to trim back farther, but that meat starts to travel along with the nail. So like her nails should be shorter than that, 150%. But we gotta get these things untangled and get her going here. All right, big mama. One clip. Sorry. So I'm gonna just basically, even if we get some blood here, I have to go past where the thing is spinning. Otherwise, it's gonna keep spinning it and keep growing in that direction. Look, I have a bunch of shit all over me. Come back, let me fix you. Please let me fix you. All right, so right where that black is where that meat's gonna be. So I'm gonna try and go right to that real quick. There you go, mama, good job. Good job, got a couple more. Couple more. See the meat right there? Good job. Couple more, hot stuff. Couple more. Look at that.
Ew.
Yeah, so that's gonna be meat right there. That shouldn't be there. But we have to keep going. Trim extra up a little bit farther back. That's gonna be good for now. Don't bite me in the stomach, little girl. There we go. That's gonna work out. Got one. Let's get your other side over here, little miss. This is the side that's a little bit more dangerous because my hand ends up being right in the path of destruction. Lisa just cleaned my floors, right? Right. One more, mama. One more, big mama. She's actually being really good. But this is what I was talking about as far as disposition. I didn't raise this animal. I don't know this animal. We just got this animal. And she's being very well behaved and managing this very, very well. And that's just their overall disposition altogether. That doesn't mean go out and get beaded lizards and snuggle with them, ladies and gentlemen. You will at one point pay the price. I promise. I didn't listen. Listen to me. It sucks. Let me see what you got. Let me see what you're looking like. Let me see what you look like. That's still nose bleeding though, so we'll just file that one down. Ugh, you are a mess with all this. All right, so the back ones aren't as bad, but we're gonna trim those before there's a problem. So these will be a little bit easier because you're just gonna take off that little corner piece, but even these are starting to spin a bit. So we're taking just a teeny bit off the tip there. You could see the meat there, so go right to the meat. How do you like your back feet, John, huh? Why didn't you do this easy on your front feet? This would have taken way less time. Could have just let me do it for your front feet. Your front feet needed them more. And that's it, bro. Spa day for a beaded lizard. Out the house 10 seconds left.
Gross.
Oh, yeah, I bet you feel better, huh? I'm gonna follow you down a bit. All right, so this will allow her to hopefully start growing those fingernails in the proper direction. You can still, if you look, you can see the damage that's already been done with this. So the nails are already spinning, and then even though this one might be able to be trimmed up a little bit more. Let's see if I can get it right at the spin here. Oh, come here. All right, so you see how the back feet caused her like no irritation whatsoever, and the front feet, obviously, a little bit more painful for her. Real quick, boom, done, that's it. Done. And the reason being is just like I said, like that claw shouldn't be like that. That meat should not be out that far. That's like as long as the claws should get. That's as long as you're ever gonna see them in the wild as well, because they're constantly conditioning those claws. They're constantly climbing on rocks. They're constantly going through all kinds of different terrains, and they're grabbing onto trees, and those nails, well, they'll always remain sharp so that they can grab on and hold things, especially tree limbs and stuff like that. Like I said, these guys are pretty terrestrial as far as they go. People don't give them enough credit. I have a buddy, Chris Gillette, actually you guys probably know him, who found some hanging literally off of a tree, because that's how they are built. That's what these nails are for. So they can go through that rough terrain, so they can stick on the side of a tree. And with the claws being the way they are now, she'd have a pretty rough time in the wild, but they would never get to that point in the wild. So ladies and gentlemen, if you keep your animals like this, if you do have beaded lizards and or Gila monsters, you have to maintain the nails 150%. What we could provide in an enclosure isn't enough for them unless you're setting them up the way that I actually want to try and set these guys up, which is semi-naturalistic, which what I want to do is get another one of these vision cages, which I got a buddy that's going to give me one. We're going to cut a hole in the bottom of it, and we're going to do like a 2-tier cage, and it's basically going to be set up pretty much the same as they have in the wild. So we're going to have big sticks for them to climb on. We're going to have rocks literally everywhere. We're going to change the substrate up. We're going to make it a little bit different, but that's not going to be for a couple of months, because like I said, I'm going to see if these guys will naturally cycle out just by changing the lights. And we do have winter coming here in Florida, so the barometric pressures and everything that we have going on with the cold fronts moving through definitely helps out. So when, just like today, we have a front moving through, I'll open windows, I'll open doors so that pressure can come inside a little bit more. But the animals sense it, they know. That's why babies are usually had in springtime, because wintertime tells the animal it's time to go into what's called brumation, which is a hibernation for reptiles. So it's just like your bears go into hibernation, not here in Florida, by the way, no bears in Florida go into hibernation. And the reason is because there is no need for hibernation here in Florida. But these guys go into something called brumation, which is essentially the same thing, but it's basically the animal's body telling it it's wintertime, number one. The food source is going to be a lot lower. The animals cool down, the follicles start to grow, so that by the time they lay their eggs and by the time those babies hatch, the food's plentiful. It's the warmer temperatures. The animals have a better chance to survive as babies. Whereas hibernation is a little bit different. You have bears up north that hibernate for long periods of time, obviously, because of how cold it gets up there. And again, it becomes a food source type deal. Where here in Florida, we have black bears. All the way up the eastern coast, we have black bears, but the black bears way up north will hibernate versus the guys down here that live with us in Florida don't hibernate. There's pretty much food all year long. We're lucky if we put a sweater on during winter once or twice a year. So we're gonna try and get these guys to breed naturally, but later on, we'll set up an enclosure, like I said, the 2-tiered enclosure. I've always wanted to try it. I've wanted to try the burrowing system where the bottom half is pretty much blocked off. You can't see it. The top half you can see, but the bottom half is blocked off so they can have that burrow type, that burrow type of enclosure where it's basically, you know, 2 sets, and they're gonna basically use that bottom as they would another animal's den. So we're gonna try that out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's spa day for the beaded lizards. I hope you guys enjoyed. Carrie's gonna be back soon. Madison's gonna be back soon. Personally, I like it better when I'm doing videos with those guys. It's a lot more fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy the solo shit. It's a lot easier for me to bounce off of other people. I have a better time doing it. It's a lot of fun to do it with the people around me, but you know, we get by the best that we can. So we're gonna do some solo videos for a little while. We got some more videos coming out that are already done. So we're gonna have a tiger one coming out, basically doing the same thing that we did with this, where we're cutting tiger's claws. And we got some more updates on the homies. We're gonna go visit Maui and Moana. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back to Krista's this weekend to go visit Maui and Moana, the squirrel monkeys and all those guys. We're gonna make sure that everybody's okay, even though we know they are over there. And then we're gonna go back and visit Romeo and Juliet soon. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, we got some enclosures being built, so those homies are gonna be home hopefully within the next week or so. We'll keep you updated on that. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the shitstorm is about to be on the way, so stay tuned. We're gonna tell you all of what happened in the life of Justin. Just bear with me a little bit. All that shit's gonna come out very soon. All right, dudes, dudettes, thank you guys for joining. Come and hit us up on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, do all that crazy shit that everybody does. Enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Comment below. I'll respond to everybody as per usual. Thank you guys very much. You guys have been awesome. We'll see you on the next one, and boom. Fat guy in a little spot. Yeah. And now Carrie will be out for the next week.
Exactly.